Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, Raila Odinga held a 5-hour meeting with over 30 governors in Naivasha. During that meeting, the governors endorsed Raila Odinga's bid for the presidency in 2022. I did a comprehensive analysis about that particular meeting. But because in politics nothing happens out of mere coincidence, I noted the presence of two governors. Their presence actually drew my attention. The governor for Kilifi, Governor Amason Kingi, and the governor for Makueni, Governor Professor Kivutha Kibwana. These two governors had decided to chart their own political path away from Raila Odinga. Professor Kivutha Kibwana actually intended to run for the presidency this year. But yesterday he announced that he's going to support Raila Odinga and that age is still on his side, and therefore he will run after Raila Odinga's term in office. And he added something that he decided to finally support Raila Odinga because he's aware that Raila Odinga's strategists are some of the peoples he had worked together with in the past. While on the other side, he doesn't know and understand how he can work with Waitito, with Sonko, and those other people supporting the Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. For Kingi, Kingi was one of the key allies of Raila Odinga at the coastal region. In fact, I've always opined on this platform that Amason Kingi is a political child of Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga funded his campaigns in 2007. In 2013, Raila Odinga prevailed on Kingi to contest for the governorship. Actually, he prevailed upon several other senators, other people he had appointed to the cabinet. Remember, after the post-election violence, we had the National Accord, and Raila Odinga was made the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, and he formed a Nusumkate government with Mwai Kibaki. One of the people he appointed to the cabinet was actually Amason Kingi, who was a very young man at that time. And after their term came to an end, Kenyans went for election. So Raila Odinga decided to prevail on some of the people who were serving in his government, in his side of government. That is Professor James Orengo. James Orengo, was it Ochilo was there? No, Ochilo was not there. Orengo, Nyong'o, Tino Kajwang, Amason Kingi, Joho, Mohamed Elmi. He prevailed on them to go and contest as governors. In fact, even Nanok, who was assistant minister. But most of them declined. But Amason Kingi decided to contest as a governor. Raila Odinga supported him. And after that 2013 election, Amason Kingi actually became the chairperson of ODM in Kilifi. And to his credit, Amason Kingi delivered all seats from MCA, MP, women rep, senator, governor, all of them to ODM. In fact, Kilifi is the only county in this country which voted all elective posts at ODM. But after the last election, Amason Kingi decided to chart his own political path. And on this channel, I've always questioned why Amason Kingi decided to pursue his own political path away from Raila Odinga. And I came to the conclusion that the main reason or the main motivation of Kingi to do that was the fact that Hassan Joho had actually overtaken him in terms of seniority in ODM party. And because he comes from Ejikenda, he wanted to use that to negotiate. So Amason Kingi formed his own political party, PA, the Pan-Africa Alliance Party. And the moment he formed that party, most people believed that Amason Kingi was going to either join William Samoei Ruto or just pursue his own political path. And I remember at some point, Aisha Jumwa really tried to push him to support William Samoei Ruto. So the fact that Amason Kingi finally came back to Raila Odinga's side as a new side means William Samoei Ruto has suffered one of his major political blows, because William Ruto had identified two regions. The first region was the coastal region, the second region, western. And then he was also banking in some Ukambani if Kalonzo was going to support Raila Odinga. So he was going to go into Ukambani and convince Kambas to support Raila Odinga. But the question is, how is this a blow to William Samoei Ruto? Let me explain to you, and I want to give you only 5 reasons. I want to be very fast. Number 1 is the coastal politics. In his own calculations, William Samoei Ruto had hoped that Raila Odinga was not going to win coastal region this time round. He had hoped that by someone like Amason Kingi, who was a key player in ODM party, breaking away from Raila Odinga was going to provide him with the opportunity to also penetrate. The fact of the matter is that the moment Amason Kingi decided to break away from Raila Odinga, that's the moment William Samoei Ruto started penetrating the coastal region. His allies started becoming bold enough to challenge Raila Odinga. But the only interesting thing is that even some members of parliament who are with the deputy president have started coming back to the ODM party. Like I remember the Kaloleni member of parliament, Honorable Katana, joining Raila Odinga in Taita Taveta. So the truth of the matter is that by joining Raila Odinga's camp, Amason Kingi is going to work very closely with Raila Odinga. So they are going to consolidate, assuming he's going to have his party running against ODM. But ultimately, the votes, they're going to consolidate for one man, Raila Amolo Odinga. So that's number 1. Number 2 is what I call reform credentials. And this, I can use the case of Professor Kivutha Kibwana, and that's why it's a blow. Sometimes last year, the deputy president started embarking on a journey of winning the support of reformists in this country. So he identified some of them. He identified Ndi, he identified Miguna, and several others. And the civil society actually started, especially during the campaigns for BBI, which he opposed, and the civil society opposed, they started working very closely. And it was expected that the civil society was going to rally behind Ruto. The main catch at that time were 2 guys for Ruto: Professor Kivutha Kibwana and David Ndi. Up to now, I don't know why David Ndi has taken a low profile in William Ruto's activities. But Professor Kivutha Kibwana at some point even started accompanying the deputy president to his political events. The idea behind William Ruto's thoughts was that Raila Odinga was riding on reform credentials, and that on William Ruto's side, he didn't have people of, he didn't have reform-oriented individuals. People who can stand up before Kenyans and tell them that for me, I fought for these reforms, I fought for this reform. Kivutha Kibwana was fitting that bill. So that when Raila Odinga stands the other side, Professor Kivutha Kibwana was going to stand the other side. Now that is something which has been now removed from William Ruto. And probably that explains why Professor Kivutha Kibwana was very clear in his statement that he's not going to join Ruto, because if he compares the 2 sides, Raila's side has people of reform credentials, people he had worked with before. But on Ruto's side, there are people he doesn't even know their reputation. So those 2 points, the cost politics and reform credentials, I've used the cost politics to explain Amason Kingi and reform credentials to explain the blow to Ruto occasioned by Professor Kivutha Kibwana. The third thing is perception. Politics is a game of perception. If Amason Kingi was telling his people that I'm going to chart my own political path, I'm going to form my own political party, and I'm also going to ensure that I stand at a place where I can work with either Ruto or Raila. Professor Kivutha Kibwana was telling his people that I'm going to run for the presidency. And there were Kenyans who were actually willing to raise funds for him to run for the presidency. Professor Kivutha Kibwana is now telling them that I'm going to support Raila Odinga. So anybody joining this country today will agree that a perception is being created that Raila Odinga is winning more support. For example, in Kilifi, you can claim that the reason why Kingi is coming back is because Raila Odinga is now entrenching himself in coastal politics again. And number 4, why William Ruto is a blow to Ruto is the fact that now William Ruto is going to be the common enemy. I listened to some speeches during Amason Kingi's launch of his party, and I've been following him very closely. Amason Kingi is one of the leaders I really admire and appreciate. The way they were attacking Raila Odinga, the way they were explaining to the coastal people why Amason Kingi needs to have its own political party was way above others. Basically, they were able to convince people. But now that is going to support Raila Odinga, what is going to happen is that they can't attack Raila Odinga. William Ruto is going to now become the common enemy. So it means in an event where there is Amason Kingi, there is Aisha Jomwa, instead of all of them attacking Raila, Amason Kingi will now attack William Ruto. And lastly, that move also isolates William Ruto's allies. Aisha Jomwa, Jicho Pevu, and the rest were very clear and got their strength from the fact that someone like Amason Kingi was able to challenge Joho, was able to challenge Raila. Now that Amason Kingi is back to Raila Odinga circles, what will they do? They will be isolated. Like for example, today in Mombasa, Hassan Joho can organize an event and invite Kingi. Or Kingi can organize an event and invite Joho. Or if they were to meet in an event, they'll talk of Azimio. William Ruto's allies will be isolated and talk as Tanka. That's my take. Let me hear your thoughts. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.